Redemption doesn't come easy for the holy men of India. They must deny themselves all worldly pleasures and embrace poverty, even physical pain. The holy man devotes his life to worshiping the highest of all gods, Shiva, god of ascetics, destroyer and creator. The truly faithful follower of Hinduism spends the last part of his life in poverty and resignation. It's the only way to achieve total forgiveness. Like 200 million Indians, Sadhu Natarajan is a devout follower of Shiva. He makes pilgrimages all across India to the holy places of worship. The temple is a refuge where the faithful come closer to their God. They're protected here, able to reflect on the differences between earthly values and divine treasures. Most believers pray in the temple at least once a day. The sadhus live in extreme poverty. They carry all their possessions on their backs. The Hindus have a fundamental rule: whoever takes has to give. When they are blessed by the deity, they bring gifts, fruit, flowers, even money. The donations are then given to the holy men so they can continue their spiritual quest. But worship isn't all solemn prayer. There's another side to Hinduism which may seem extreme to Westerners. They achieve religious ecstasy through wild ritualistic dances. Some followers test their tolerance for pain by going into trances and performing agonizing feats. Is this genuine devotion to God or mere fanaticism? Why the emphasis on pain? Because life is predetermined by dharma, which means virtue, truth, and righteousness, and karma, which is taking responsibility for your actions. According to Hindu philosophy, the soul is continually reborn into another body until it's pure and free from greed. Thus, dharma and karma influence your next life. The caste system is a way of life for the Hindus. Each person is born into a particular social order and must follow the strict rules of their caste. This pilgrim is from Benares, a holy town on the Ganges River. He was born a Brahmin. Even for the people of this high caste, life is still a transitory state. They seek redemption like everyone else. Every Brahmin must bring a sacrifice to the Ganges once during their lifetime. Gifts are blessed before being offered to the holy river. These people are burning cow guano, a job usually given to the women and children of a low caste. Women can move to a higher caste by marriage. Men aren't quite as lucky. The only way a man can advance in life is through death and rebirth. Sadhu Natarajan is more dedicated to redemption than some of his fellow Hindus. When his wife died 30 years ago, Sadhu put on the orange dress worn by wandering ascetics. He automatically gave up everything he owned, vowing to live in poverty. Sadhu was once a carpenter from a caste of tradesmen. These days he lives a poor religious existence. He eats only once a day, food that other people give him. The Hindus believe life is divided into 4 steps. First, a young person studies with a guru. In the second step, he fulfills his obligation to family and society by getting married. After his children are grown and the family is taken care of, he can try for the third step. The third step requires the Hindu to withdraw from society and live as a hermit in meditation. He has to leave behind all his possessions. The fourth step, rebirth, only comes after he's lived as a pilgrim, ascetic, or holy man. By doing so, he's able to reduce the number of rebirths he needs to achieve redemption. Hindus prepare for redemption at a young age by learning yoga. They learn to control all desire through yoga meditation and religious exercise. The most difficult yoga positions are associated with different legends. Hanuman, the mythical god of the monkey, had superhuman powers. He could pull trees out by their roots, fly through the air, and even carry a mountain from the Himalayas to Sri Lanka. The ascetic symbolically wraps a piece of cloth around his penis so he can carry a stone or rock. This gives strength to the god of the monkeys. Many holy men reject this kind of practice. They feel that a human being can never outgrow his body, therefore he should just rely on meditation to achieve salvation. To the rest of the world, resting on a bed of nails is simply a trick. But this practice does have a basis in Hindu legend. The bed of nails is taken from the legend of Bhisma. During an attack, he fell onto 100 arrows, which became his bed. Today, iron nails are used instead of arrows. This ascetic is praying at the grave of his guru. He has vowed to remain standing until his dead teacher gives him a sign in his dreams. He's been standing for 4 years. During all that time, the man has never laid down. He sleeps upright in a swing. In New Delhi, we met another ascetic who's been standing for 30 years. He doesn't have any idea how much longer it will last. Some ascetics stand on one leg for hours and even days. It's an ancient practice which is over 1,200 years old. Artists have engraved these events on one of the largest reliefs in the world. These mythological stories are carved in a rock face which extends 100 feet around Shiva, god of the ascetics. Not all ascetics can be taken seriously. Some are very tricky, using their skill to make money. This man says he's trying to redeem himself by laying on a bed of thorns. He's also getting paid very well to perform the feat. His father and grandfather earned their living the same way. He charges half the normal monthly wage to perform this trick. Magic and the occult play a large part in Indian life. There are legitimate holy men with supernatural powers, and then there are the fakes. Mustafa, the magician, claims to be choking on stones. Hassan can swallow over 50 long rusty nails, hold them in his throat, then make them reappear. We had a doctor take x-rays of Hassan, which incidentally was his first modern medical exam ever. The x-rays show that Hassan keeps the nails in his throat in a bundle. A true ascetic like Sadhu Natarajan hasn't any patience for this type of trickery. He's 60 years old, and the most interesting part of his life is over. These days, Sadhu has only one dream: to reach the holiest of places on the Ganges River. The life-giving river is believed to be the goddess of Ganga, and nowhere in India is the circle of life more apparent. According to legend, the river started in heaven and came from the hairs of Shiva. It was then sent down to earth where the water was badly needed. The river goddess supposedly cleanses the dead. Legend aside, the source of the Ganges is the Himalaya Mountains. Its tributaries flow down into a main stream where the true believers gather. Many Indians come here to the holy city of Benares to die. Their sins are washed away by the river. The bodies are then ready for burning. These fires are constantly burning. After a person dies, only the god can decide whether the person should be reborn into another body or set free. The ashes are thrown into the river, dissolving every last trace of the old life. The soul is now completely cleansed by fire and water. Hindus are supposed to visit Benares at least once in their lifetime. They cleanse their sins by drinking the holy water of the Ganges. Some pilgrims fill bottles with the water and take it home to the sick and dying. The Ganges is also a hub of social activity. During the mornings, people bathe here and do their laundry. In between, they pray to the rising sun and to the great god of Shiva. It's believed that Shiva lives on the Himalayan mountain of Kailash. The only way to overcome death is to believe in him. According to ancient scriptures, there is no other way to redemption. I am the origin of the world and its dissolution. I am the life of all creatures and the ascetic of the ascetics. I am immortality as well as death. I exist as well as non-exist. This towering temple honoring Shiva was built over 1,000 years ago. It was considered a paradise for Shiva and for the pilgrims who couldn't make it up the mountain. They were immortalized here. The temple was built from one piece of stone, just like a scripture. To do this, more than 200,000 tons of stone was cut out of the mountain. The tripod is an ancient symbol of Shiva and of destruction. His followers often carry the tripod with them. You'll find this symbol on coins and clay models dating as far back as 200 BC. Shiva is also a musician and dancer who carries his drums and horn wherever he goes. Many of Shiva's followers do the same. Shiva is the creator of the world. In lingam, which is a phallic symbol, we see the procreative power of the god. Lingam and yoni represent the masculine and feminine. They complete the cycle of creation. The Himalayan summits are homes to the gods. So the temple of Khajuraho is shaped like them. The temple is a tribute to the eroticism and sensual pleasures of the gods. It represents fertility, life on earth, and redemption through rebirth. The people worship the phallus of Shiva because it created the world and can also destroy it. The people pray for fertility by offering up flowers and holy water. It's mortal man's only chance for immortality. Satya Sai Baba is India's most popular holy man. He holds his morning audience in a suburb of Bangalore. Many people think this holy man is a charlatan who relies on trickery. As we see here, still others believe he's the rebirth of the god Krishna. Sai Baba preaches love, the abolition of castes, and the unity of all religions. He combines Hinduism and Christianity into his teachings. Sai Baba has millions of followers from all over the world who believe he has supernatural healing powers. His disciples come here hoping for a miracle. Miracles do happen if one is to believe the stories. During one of his rituals, Sai Baba creates holy ashes, called vibhuti, from thin air. A light movement of his hand, and he throws out white ashes. Many scientists have asked to test Sai Baba in laboratory conditions, but the holy man refuses. "I need my powers for the benefit of my followers," Sai Baba declares. Sai Baba performs another miracle by covering his portrait with vibhuti. The ashes seem to multiply themselves. We took samples of the different ashes and had them analyzed. Sai Baba couldn't possibly have produced this powder from his own body. And it's highly improbable that the ashes were hidden somewhere before he threw them.
Die untere Kurve zeigt unsere Probe und die obere die Kieselsäure. Das weiße und das graue Pulver ist.
Sometimes the vibhuti seems to dribble out of the vessels. At other times it pours out. One thing is sure, there isn't enough room in the vessels to hold all the ashes. "I simply think of things and suddenly they appear," says the holy man. He claims to produce fruit and even jewelry in the same way. This is all magic. I believe the only way to God is exclusively through meditation and prayer. Those who are really searching do not need a show. Our greatest holy men live in complete seclusion. Many have supernatural powers, which they would never show to other people. They only practice yoga and meditation as a means to their own redemption. These hermits aren't easy to find. Outsiders are not usually allowed to talk to them. But we were lucky enough to meet one, quite by accident, near the Tibetan border. He stands in the snow barefoot and praying to the sun god, Surya. Going back thousands of years, the early Indians often worshipped nature. Wherever you look, you are rising up, the sun god full of blessings, you who maintains all people. So goes an ancient chant, Surya. Most Hindus visit their temples at least once a year during a festival. These processions often last for several days. This man is sacrificing his pain to the gods. The ritual is different from place to place. This young Hindu hooked coconuts to his skin as an offering to the gods, and painted his entire body with ashes as another sign of faith. He also stuck a needle through his tongue. He chews betel nut to dull some of the pain. The priest gives him ashes for enlightenment and purification. The man will pierce his tongue for several days, only on special occasions. Worshippers in the south of India offer a mass sacrifice for Kali, who, like Shiva, is god of fertility and death. They begin the ceremony by carrying a covered picture of Kali around the holy monument. These 66 young men were selected to participate in the ceremony. They arrive at the temple 7 days before the festival and don't leave until it's over. They prepare themselves with yoga and a strict vegetarian diet. The priest blesses them. The men are made up for the ritual, which lasts hours. They're anointed in sandalwood paste and decorated with flowers. After dark, the sacrifices are brought to Kali. In the past, this tradition always inspired fear. Until recently, these people were actually hung from hooks in their back so they could be pulled away from danger. The hook is still part of the ceremony, although the participants are no longer hung. Holes are cut through the skin and muscle of their legs, and 3 belts are attached. Children are handed over to these floating men for a short time as thanks to Kali for giving them life. The supplicants don't bleed or show pain, but in modern India, the ritual is discouraged and eventually may be outlawed. The men are then tied to the temple wagon. Together, they're pulled upwards and driven around the temple area. Again, as thanks to Kali for blessing the children. The imposing Islamic fortress Agra was built during the 16th century. The Mongol Emperor Akbar ruled from here. Agra was a funeral monument built for Akbar's wife. Now it's the shining jewel of India, the Taj Mahal. For hundreds of years, the Mongols tried converting the Hindus to Islam, but eventually Hinduism became part of the Islamic teachings. Today in India, Islamic followers, known as Sufis, follow the tradition of a missionary order called the Dervishes. This holy ceremony takes place on certain holidays and after weeks of fasting. It took months of negotiations before we were given permission to film the ceremony. They wouldn't accept any money, since this is a religious act. We had to film on a certain day, which the master chose. After the spears are carefully laid out, they dance themselves into a trance. Under the supervision of their master, the participants reach a state beyond pain. "13 spears have been stuck in this man's skin, and yet, for the fakir, this is still the easiest test." The rhythm of the music heightens their concentration. According to the teachings, a man must allow the spirits to wander through the letters of the word Allah, and you will rest in complete happiness in the shining ring of the last letter. They become one with the spirit of the holy book, the Quran, and are freed from all physical feeling. The fakir stays in this position for about a half hour. He's protected from the sun's brutal rays by a small piece of cloth. The spears are pulled out and pressure is applied. This lets the body heal without any scars. There is no blood. It takes incredible strength and deep concentration to perform this feat. Only the advanced fakir can do it successfully. The mouth is one of the most sensitive areas in the head. Yet when the spear pierced the mouth, there was no blood. Unusual to say the least, since according to doctors, when the bottom of the mouth is penetrated, it will always bleed extensively. This time, the master puts his finger in his student's mouth and closes up the wound. It seems impossible to do this without serious damage, yet it happens all the time in India. We brought a so-called pain artist or fakir into the laboratory to to find out how a human being can deal with great pain. We were interested in what transpires in the body, but above all, we wanted to study what happens in the brain during a moment of extreme pain. The fakir spears himself and then suffers very intense pain, way above the threshold of pain tolerance. Normally, you can't bear such pain. We also monitored his electrical brain waves. This scan shows that this fakir can control his pain by going into a momentary trance-like state. This is the typical brainwave imagery of the fakir. We can see here that during this intense pain, he'll put this feeling section of his brain to sleep, while the other sections stay awake. With a sleeping brain, a fakir can deal with his pain very well. To overcome pain is the highest state of perfection. This master takes the act one step further. He spears his tongue, then wraps himself in a scarf. He then cuts off part of his tongue. And, miraculously, puts it back in again. The students hold on to their master while he finishes. Later, we're told that the master has to protect himself from non-believers like us. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to put his tongue back together again. Miracle? Or just a clever trick? In this slow-motion replay, we discover several things. The fakir did cut off a piece of his tongue. It's frayed on the side, which is proof that a living organ was severed. You see, the tongue is a muscle that contains a lot of blood. When cut in the middle, it retrenches at the edges. Yet there wasn't one drop of blood. And as we can see, the tongue is indeed back together, moving around the mouth. Modern medicine has no explanations for how this is possible. It's a mystery that remains in the realm of spirituality. It's easy to see why redemption plays such a large role in India. After all, the poverty here is enormous, and millions of people live in misery. Whoever doesn't make it in this life can hope for better lives to come. Every individual will be reborn until their soul is united with the soul of the universe, just like a drop of water is dissolved in a lake. no one really knows how much time it takes to find redemption. But the legend of the holy man leaves us with some food for thought. A holy man who had already spent decades as a strict ascetic stood before Narada, prophet of the gods. "You have one wish left," Narada told him. The holy man replied, "I want to know how many more lives I have to spend this way." Narada's answer, "Look at the leaves on this tree. When you have spent as many lives in asceticism as the tree has leaves, then you will achieve redemption." The holy man started to dance with joy. "What? So little time?"